essentially where we're at here. So just to reiterate, remember, commitment and consistency. Everybody has their own self-image, so the more that they are pushed out of that self-image, the more they get used to it, the more willing they are to be pushed. And people will naturally resist that, so you want to be conscious of that. You also want to be conscious of authority. If you're an authority in someone's world, they'll do almost anything for you. If they don't view you as an authority, they usually will not. So establishing high value, establishing authority is super, super critical to everything you do. Let's talk about what we got here. The difference between male versus female psychology for reproduction. And where this is important for me, it's important in a lot of ways actually, but the biggest one that comes up is why am I able to date multiple girls very easily, and other guys seem to have problems with it. Right? And the reason is I understand male and female psychology. I understand how men and women are different. See, a man, they prioritize, like their best way to get genes in the next generation is fuck a lot of girls. Right? A woman's best way to get genes in the next generation is have a few kids and raise them really well, because they can't have that many kids. So what you have to understand is what is cheating for a man and what is cheating for a woman. As a man, we consider it cheating when a woman has sex with another guy. Right? That's cheating for us, and that's because that's a threat to our biological investment. If we have sex with a girl, we're potentially having a kid with her, and then she has sex with some other guy, he has a kid with that guy, and we don't know. Right, on like the savannah, we raise some other guy's kid. That's a huge threat to our genetic investment. That's like essentially like the worst reproductive crime a woman can commit. Okay, so for men, what we're scared of is a woman cheating sexually. Right? For women, it's very different. For women, as long as you are good to her and the kid and take care of them, it doesn't actually genetically make that much difference how many other girls you're fucking. Right? It doesn't really make that much difference. What makes a difference to her is if in the process of having sex with those girls, and the process of having potential relations with those girls, she gets less of your resources, she gets less of your time, and her child, therefore, is left out in the cold. Okay? So understand that. Understand that girls inherently will be very okay with cheating physically, compared to men at least. I mean, they don't like it, but they'll be much more okay with you having sex with other girls. However, they'll tend to be much less okay with you being emotionally attached to other girls. Okay? As opposed to, as guys, say like a girl had like a gay, your girl has like a gay best friend who she never sleeps with, you probably don't give a fuck as long as you're not fucking each other, right? So for us, the cheating is physical. For them, the cheating is emotional. So understand that, and also understand that the way to motivate women, therefore, is through understanding that, through communicating with them emotionally, and through showing them that what you have is like it's special. Right? It's special on a certain level, and they'll let you get away with a lot in those regards. In fact, like girls will have, I had threesome last, I had 2 threesomes this week, so that was cool. But girls will like let you sleep with other girls will have threesomes with you, girls will let you do all that stuff, because it's not actually a threat to them until you cross a certain threshold. So understand how that is. Don't fall into the trap of thinking that the girl thinks the same way you do, because she doesn't. Her biological priorities are different, right? And if you understand that, and you understand that in terms of your genetic investment, having sex with other girls isn't actually cheating in the same way, that will let you feel a lot more good about it and be a lot less guilty with it. Because as soon as you're guilty about anything, as soon as you are doing something thinking it's weird or awkward or guilty, everybody can tell that. As soon as you're doing something and you think it's totally like cool and normal, everybody can tell that also. Okay, so that's a very big understanding, is to know that men and women are biologically different. And the reason why, obviously, is that a woman has a 9-month incubation period where she's incapacitated in order to have a kid. A guy has no commitments, basically, at all. So what that means is it basically dictates everything that is male and female. Okay, so understand that difference, and understand what cheating is to a man and what cheating is to a woman. Also understand the male-female thing. Understand the importance of social validation to a woman. And that has to do with pregnancy as well. Because think of it this way. If we're living in tribes of, like, small tribes, and a woman gets pregnant, she needs the tribe to survive. During that 9-month period, and the period where she has, like, this, like, thing with her that all it can do is cry and attract predators and not provide anything useful. During this period, if she doesn't have a tribe, she's literally dead. Okay? So for her, the approval of the tribe, the acceptance of the tribe is literally a matter of life and death. That's why girls are so receptive to social proof, and that's why they're so worried about appearing slutty, so worried about like leaving their friends in the club and developing a reputation, that kind of stuff, because they view approval of the tribe as life and death. As a man, if we were kicked out of the tribe and had to live on the savannah, it's not a good thing, but we could survive. We could live, we could find another tribe, we could do things, right? So it's not of that same level. Understand that, and understand that it is a legitimate concern for them. So when they're saying, like, I can't leave my friends, what are they really saying? They're saying, I don't want to appear like a slut. I don't want to be judged. They don't actually care about leaving the friends or not. What they care about is being judged by the friends. So if you can find a way for them to leave the friends and come back, and they don't get judged and the friends don't find out, you've solved the problem, the actual problem, not the problem they think they have. Okay, so understand that as well when you're dealing with the difference between male and female. Okay? So that's very, very important. Next one, and this is really critical from evolution, is the idea of honest signals. Who knows what honest signals are, roughly? A little bit, okay. Honest signals basically is anything in nature that can't be faked. Okay, so an example, easy example of honest signals for game is if you go up and have some like punchy pickup line to say to a girl, you could pre-package that. You could plan it and go say it, so it doesn't prove much. But if a girl gives you shit, says, oh, you're just a player, and you look at her in the eye and you don't flinch, and you're not emotionally reactive, and you're just cool in that moment, and you have even something witty to say, that's hard to pre-plan. So the fact that when you're put on the spot you could deliver, that's an honest signal. That's hard to fake, okay? That's one example. The best example from nature and evolution is they use the peacock, right? Peacock has the bright feathers, and the bright feathers do not help it survive. In fact, if anything, the bright feathers make it more like of a target for predators. But the peahen likes the peacock with the bright feathers. And why is that? It's for two reasons. Number one, the peacock can only develop those bright feathers if it eats certain nutrients. So by having the bright feathers, it's communicating that it's healthy and nutritious, right? It's living a healthy life. And so it has good genetics, good healthy genes, good healthy sperm, I guess, whatever peacocks have, to give to the peahen. That's number one, but it's also communicating that I'm so good at surviving, I can survive and not be eaten in spite of having these brightly colored feathers, okay? So the idea of like being able to stand out is an honest signal. Being able to, for example, if a girl walked into this room right now and saw you guys all looking at me, at this moment, not to say in life I'm the coolest person here or whatever, but at this moment if someone saw this, they'd be like, who's the coolest person here, right? Probably me, because at this moment, I'm the one everybody's reacting to, right? So taking on social pressure, that's another honest signal. Being able to be a leader, being able to have people's eyes on you. And that's good because that's social pressure. It's also approval of the group, which is, for example, why do DJs and rock stars get laid more than, say, an MIT mathematician, right? On a certain level, you could say the guy doing the MIT math stuff is just as impressive as like the DJ, the rock star, whatever, but what's happening is that two things. Number one, the DJ or the rock star, they're taking social pressure. They have a lot of people's eyes on them and they're not choking. They're performing under that pressure. The other thing that's happening is everyone around them is reacting to them and they're not reacting to everyone around them. The person of high value is the person everyone is reacting to who is not reacting to anybody. Okay, so the more you can convey that, the better off you are. You guys may have had this situation, like if you're ever maybe doing a hobby or if you're sort of in a position of authority at a job and girls just happen to be around you and see you working, and maybe you're not even trying to talk to them, trying to get their attention, and all of a sudden the girls like develop a crush on you, right? It's because they just saw you working and doing something you're competent at without making an attempt to get them, right? So that's this is an honest signal of competence, honest signal that you can take people on, okay? The great thing that I kind of discovered recently with honest signals is there's a theory I came up with in the last year that's called leveling. And the idea here is, in the same way that we rate girls, we say this girl's like a 6, this girl's a 10, that kind of stuff, girls are rating us also, right? Certain guys are 7s, 8s, 10s, whatever. But for us, we look at a girl and it's basically physical. Like if the girl's hot enough, we've decided to fuck her, and she'd have to do something pretty fucking weird to make us not want to fuck her, right? That's pretty much how it is. As guys, we're not being judged physically, we're being judged on our behaviors. And so certain behaviors will indicate that you're at a certain level. Right? For example, if you're too shy to start a conversation, or if you trip all over your words, even saying hi, you're communicating that you're at a low level. You're communicating maybe as a guy you're like a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or something like that, right? And a girl who's like a 6 or a 7 or higher, if you communicate that you're a 3 or 4 or 5, not fucking that guy. Instantly makes that decision, not in the realm of fucking. Right? Now that doesn't mean if she got to know you for a long period of time and she got a body of evidence that actually says you're cool afterwards, you couldn't turn it around. But it's very, very difficult. right? Because you gave her the honest signal of low value. On the other hand, if you can go in and approach a girl in a confident way, just from the very fact that you approached her in a confident way, the fact that you didn't stumble over your words, the fact that you had good eye contact, she's immediately assessing you're at least above a certain level. You're saying this guy's at least a 6 or higher, at least a 7 or higher, right? And so this is why girls can get so attracted so quickly. This is why, like, you guys have seen throughout this week, when you were talking to girls, and especially like you see me talking to girls, sometimes you see them get like super attracted instantly. Why? Because the honest signals are there. And that's why they can respond so quickly. People don't respond to all of the stimulus in an environment, they respond to a few very particular things. Right? If you were to think right now, what are all the sights and sounds around you? You did not notice that. There's a little like light on the ceiling, there's like engines outside, there's the breeze blowing through here, there's like the feeling of your like feet against like the ground. Like there's all these things you probably weren't paying attention to a second ago, I just made you aware of. Right? Why were you not paying attention to all of them? Because there's too much damn stimulus for you to pay attention to all of it. You just pay attention to a few little things that stand out. And usually what you're paying attention to are the things that you've learned are the most important indicators. Those are your honest signals, right? So that's what you're looking at. Now the interesting thing here is there's certain behaviors you can do that are, like I said, honest signals of a particular value level, like it's at least this or beneath this. There's other ones that will tell you you are exactly this value level. And this is what I call leveling. So one example that I like is, say that I was going to talk here, and move this real fast, and I jumped out, and instead of like talking normally and then be like, hey, you know what's up, talk, sit down and be normal and chill with it, if I were to jump down and be like, hey, yo, what's up, how you doing? Right? Let's look at that behavior. It's a very interesting behavior. On one level, I'm very confident. Right? On one level, I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to like attract social attention onto me. I'm willing to be the center of attention. I'm willing to be loud. I didn't flinch. Right? So I'm indicating, at the very least, I'm not like a low value guy. I'm indicating I'm not like a 4 or a 5, maybe at least a 6 or something like that. Right? At the same time, it was a little bit try hard. Right? It was not a 5 or below. I'm also communicating I'm not a 10. Right? I'm communicating I'm not a 10. And so what a lot of guys will do when they start learning game is they'll start doing these behaviors because they work. And then they'll try and up their game to hotter girls or more difficult situations. They'll do the exact same things that worked for them, and they won't work anymore. Because what happened was, say this behavior, let's say that leveled me at a 7. It just tells a girl honestly, this guy's not below a 6, he's not above an 8. It just leveled me at 7. So if I'm talking to 6s and 7s, they love me for it. In fact, they might compliment me on it. Right? If I do that, they'll go, that was so ballsy, that was so amazing that you did that. And then I go do that at 10, and I just get the fucking ignored blasé. Why? Because I said I'm a 7. And here's the really interesting thing. If a girl's a 6, do you think she wants a 10? Do you think she wants a guy who's a 10? No, because that scares the fuck out of her. Right? If a girl's a 6 and she gets a guy who's a 10, that guy's going to cheat on her left and right, is never going to be faithful to her. She has no reason to. He can do better. The only way a 6 would ever be with a 10 is if he somehow convinced her that she was super, super special and they had like some kind of incredible connection. And so that even though she knows she's a 6, to him, she's like a 9 or a 10 or something like that. That's the only way, is if she was convinced of that. Okay? So funny enough, this leveling behavior that says I'm a 7 will get the 6s into you super fast. But when you get to the higher and higher levels, it will start working against you. It'll make it almost impossible for it to work. So this is a bit of a mindfuck. It's a bit of a mindfuck. It worked. And then you try to step up to another level and it doesn't work. And the way that you can know whether you're leveling yourself when you're getting success, there's a few things that I want you to think about. All right? First is think about like the behaviors you're doing. Would you do them with good friends? Right? If you're doing something with a girl or in sales with like a prospect that you wouldn't do with like a good friend, that you wouldn't do as your normal personality, you're doing it just like specifically to get a short-term result, use it as long as it's getting a result. But be aware that you are being different than your natural self to do that. Be aware that you are putting on a persona, and every time you're putting on a persona, you're essentially getting a success through a gimmick. And gimmicks are leveling. Gimmicks are like if you're trying to like you walk up to a girl and stop, you're like, hey, stop, right? That can work, and that will stop some girls. But could you imagine like Brad Pitt or Leonardo DiCaprio or George Clooney doing that? No, you couldn't, right? So it's inherently a leveling behavior. So think to yourself, would I do this with my best friends? Also think, would I do this if 100% at the end of the night the girl was going to fuck me? If I absolutely knew, like she wrote like a signed in blood contract that if she doesn't fuck me, her parents will die. right? If she was like guaranteed to fuck me at the end of the night, would I still be doing this, right? If the answer is no, be aware that it might be a leveling behavior, okay? Similarly, in the sales would be like, if I knew 100% this guy's buying no matter what, he's already agreed, would I be still acting this way? Because every time that you're acting in a way you wouldn't if you were assured of success or assured of a good response, that means you are potentially like qualifying yourself, you are potentially leveling yourself. So be aware of those kind of things. And again, don't be stupid. Like, if something's working for you, obviously keep doing it until it stops working. But if you somehow reach a plateau where you're like, oh, I can get the girls up to this level, but I can't get the hotter girls. If you're getting to that plateau, try and look at some of your behaviors, look at what might be leveled, look at areas where you're not being your true self, right? You want to come from a frame of, I'm offering value, I'm fucking cool, and you like it because of who I am, not from a frame of gimmicks. Okay, so that's just an interesting thing that I've noticed. A lot of guys that get stuck at an intermediate level for a really long period of time, it's because they have these leveling behaviors, right? The other one that, this is unrelated a little bit, the other one that keeps guys at intermediate for a long time is what I call self-amusing from the wrong frame. And we all know that, like, in order to be good at game, you want to be just talking about what you want to talk about, you want to be putting it out there and not judging yourself, right? But at the same time, you still need to be conveying high-value traits. So if you want to talk about whatever you want to talk about, what you're talking about is how lame you are, well, you're conveying the wrong message to the girl, even if you're having fun doing it, even if you're joking around, all right? So understand that, on the one hand, there's communicating in a way that's free. On the other hand, you still need to have high-value frames. And we're going to talk about that in a second at the end when we talk about blueprints. So that's honest signals. Last quick concepts from life in general before I get into my own particular models are two things I learned from when I was doing sales and from like studying sales. And these are actually two lessons from Zig Ziglar. First is just a phrase that he uses, which is he says you can get in life all the things you want if you just help enough other people get what they want. Which the idea is that if you're coming from a frame that you're going out and trying to help people, people will want to deal with you, and you'll have lots and lots of people to deal with, and lots of I guess an abundance of people wanting to work with you who don't feel you have an agenda and et cetera, right? Another part of this is in negotiations. If, for example, you could make an arrangement where it's 90-10, you get like 90, they get 10, but they get something, or you can make an arrangement that's like 99-1, and they walk out of it feeling like they just got raped by you. You may have gotten that extra 9% that one time, but if they feel good about the interaction each time, the person dealing with you feels good about it, then they'll keep coming back and coming back and coming back, right? So you want to make sure that you play long-term enough. And the next is a story that I really like, which is a Zig Ziglar story, where he talks about he was selling, I think he was selling like cookware in like the deep south, right? And he basically went and talked to this guy, and the guy's, you know, this like poor guy has like an outhouse in his backyard, doesn't have indoor plumbing, can barely afford the product that he wants to sell him. And he says to him, look, I got your money right here for this product, and you're not getting it. Because I've been saving up to get an indoor toilet for like the last 10 years for my family, and that's where this money is going, is for an indoor toilet. So I got the money, and you're not getting it, right? And so Zig Ziglar says he'd grown up in the rural South as well, and he'd had to go to an outhouse in the middle of the winter, and he sympathized with the guy. He's like, okay, fine, I understand where you're coming from, and he ended up leaving. And then this guy's niece was talking to him like a week later, and said, man, was it niece, nephew, uncle? I guess it'd be uncle, whatever. And I was like, my uncle hates you. But why does he hate me? I'm not a mean guy. He's like, he said you wouldn't sell him any cookware. And Zig was like, I will definitely sell him some cookware. We'll go over there right now. I'll gladly sell him some. And he's like, no. He doesn't want to buy it from you anymore. He doesn't trust you. He doesn't trust you anymore. And he said Zig Ziglar thought about this for years, and it was a mindfuck for him for a really, really, really long time. And what he realized over time was the guy, he basically had two options. When Zig Ziglar didn't push hard to sell him, when he took the no without really pushing it, the guy had to think one of two things. Either A, you were trying to scam me and your product wasn't that good, or B, you don't care about me enough to try and get me your product. Either way, I don't trust you. You're a bad person. Understand the very same thing with respect to girls. There's a guy that we know, we call him Evil Jimmy. and he lives in San Francisco. He has slept with probably nearly 1,000 girls now. He doesn't like baths or condoms. He doesn't have a job. And yeah, he's not exactly the type of guy that most fathers would want their daughters dating. Right? He slept with about 1,000 girls.
How come he's not teaching?
He comes on programs with us sometimes. It's really cool. But the question is, why does he get girls, and why do a lot of nice guys not get girls? It's because a lot of nice guys, as soon as there's any kind of resistance, they don't want to trigger a bad emotion in the girl. They don't want to make the girl uncomfortable, so they back off, and they think they're doing the girl a favor. Evil Jimmy, when the girl's a little uncomfortable, he doesn't give a fuck. He pushes, he tries, he'll do anything and everything, right? And so he ends up fucking with them, or ends up fucking them. So here's what I want you to think about. That moment when you're thinking, oh, it's a little uncomfortable, I don't want to give the girl a bad emotion. Think to yourself, is she better off fucking you or fucking Evil Jimmy? Because when you don't push, you're making a decision for her. You're making the decision that instead of fucking a good guy, she's fucking Evil Jimmy. Okay? Understand that. Understand that if you're bringing value to the table, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to her to close hard. Right? If you're bringing value to the table and you don't close hard, you're not doing her a service, you're doing her a disservice. Okay? So that's a very, very critical mindset as well. Right? So those are kind of the mindsets that I think are very formative for me. I'm going to end by telling you two general sort of like theories on game. One is an idea of how to get good at game short term and long term. And then the last is my idea for how to hook a set, how to make sure that, you know how a lot of times you'll be talking to a girl and sometimes they'll all seem to like you one night and then the next night nobody wants to talk to you, none of them hook. I'll talk you through exactly how to hook on purpose, right? And when I get into it, I don't want you to necessarily always be trying to do this, but I do want you to be aware of it because it will help you get the tough ones. It will help you get the ones that you wouldn't get normally. So let's kill this real fast. And I'll explain to you two quick models for how game works. And sort of how to get, how to get the hottest girls versus how to get other girls. So, thanks, by the way. So in order to start, I'm gonna give a little sciencey on here, but I'm not gonna go too deep. I want you to imagine a rubber band or like a spring. So this is like the engineering for like a spring. So this is a spring, okay? If this spring is not compressed, there's no energy. It's just a piece of metal sitting on the ground. But you start pushing on one side of the spring, all of a sudden there's energy. All right? That's the first thing you have to understand in game. In order for there to be energy in the set, you have to do something. All right? Nothing happens until you put pressure on it. Nothing happens until you do something. And this can be giving a compliment, it can be being man to woman, it can be giving an insult, but you're doing something to create in the set. Okay? And this is the most mathy I will go, I promise. But this is the equation for a spring. So force equals some constant times the amount that you push it. K is a constant, X means displacement. So basically, the further you push it, the greater the force. That's what you're looking at. The greater you push the spring, the greater the force. But the greater the force, think of the greater the force as the stronger your game. Right? The more you're pushing, the more you're doing in game, the stronger impression you're making on the girl. And that's very, very critical. Okay? You could also look at this as the closer you're playing to what you can get away with, the stronger it is. So for example, if there is a range and this is like completely acceptable, this is completely unacceptable, if you're here, you're not very strong. If you're here next to completely unacceptable, you're very strong. If you're here, you break the spring. Then the set's over and she runs the fuck away. Okay? Now, if a girl's like a 6, if a girl's not super attractive, not super high value, doesn't have as many really high quality choices in guys, the threshold for getting her attracted may be like here, right? You may not have to push that hard to get her attracted. And so for her, if you're playing here, you're good. But I'm not 100% sure we're going to get along, right? It's kind of like a little bit of a push-pull, but it's nice at the same time, right? With a 10, I might be like, fuck off. I don't even know why you're even talking to me now, right? Much harsher, right? So instead of a light little playful push away, I give them a really hard push away. Why? Because it takes more to get on their radar. However, if you give that same harsh push away to a 6, you broke her spring. All right, so there's this sort of level of calibration there. Okay, so that's the first thing to understand is understand calibration. understand that everybody has sort of a different blueprint, a different life history, and you need to calibrate. Don't go over gaming 6s and 7s, but don't go under gaming 10s. For those of you who know, a lot of you guys know Derek. Those of you who don't, I'll just give you the brief story. This is a guy who picks up Playboy models, picks up hot girls in LA, picks up really hot girls in Vegas, Miami, does really, really well in those environments. He went and taught a boot camp in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he could not get a single girl to like him at all. Every single girl thought he was the biggest asshole they'd ever met, because he was doing the type of game that was necessary for the Playboy models and the actresses and shit like that to get on their radar in LA, Vegas, Miami. Alright, so understand that what works one place doesn't always work everywhere else. But the other question is, how do you get the hottest girls? You have to risk failing. Okay? You have to risk failing. You have to do something big. Here's kind of an interesting Derek story, as long as you're on the topic. He was in a room with Mark Cuban, and a bunch of people wanted Mark Cuban's attention. Everybody's hounding around him. Everyone wants to ask him questions, etc. And Derek's like, I want to talk to him too. All right, I want to talk to him, and I'm going to make it happen. So everybody's like cloying to him, telling him how amazing he is, whatever. He walks up and goes, hey Mark, I hear you're a bit of an asshole. As an aspiring asshole myself, I'd love a minute of your time. Right? He did something to get on his radar. Now, will that work every time? No, it probably won't. But he gave himself a much better chance than every other guy in the room had. And it turns out Mark Cuban went and said, okay, I'll give you like 5 minutes. They went aside in a room and he was able to like ask him about business and talk to him for a few minutes and whatever, right? So it actually worked this particular time. Why did it work? Because he took a risk. He risked breaking the spring, okay? One other thing though, so this is the X part, right? The further you stretch the spring, the stronger it is. The other way to increase the force is by increasing what they call the spring constant, which basically what this means, getting a bigger, stronger spring. Okay, so there's 2 ways to get better at game, 2 ways to get better at life, and you should be doing both. First is learn to stretch it, learn to push the boundaries, okay? Learn better game, learn more sales techniques, learn more of exactly how far you push and get more experience in one particular area. The other is become a cooler, better guy.